Rintaro stared blankly at his notebook, completely consumed by anxiety. Kaoruko's birthday was approaching, and he was hopelessly stuck. He realized with a pang of guilt that despite how close they had become, he barely knew her specific tastes, other than her bottomless affection for cake. His distraction was so obvious that his teacher snapped him back to reality with a sharp reprimand in front of the whole class. That evening, Rintaro asked his mother if she knew of any other popular bakeries in town. She offered a far better suggestion. Rather than buying a cake from a shop Kaoruko hadn't visited, he should bake one himself. Rintaro immediately balked at the idea. He didn't know the first thing about baking, and the thought of asking his father, Keiichiro, filled him with guilt. His father was already working himself to the bone. Just as he voiced his reluctance, a soft thud echoed from the hallway. They turned to find his father, Keiichiro, draped over the stairs, utterly exhausted from another long day at the family bakery. After helping him to the couch, the family sat down for dinner. Sensing her son's hesitation, Rintaro's mother gently explained that his father worked so hard simply because he loved his craft, and he was always thrilled to share it. In fact, Keiichiro had baked the cake Rintaro and his friends had enjoyed recently, and seeing their delighted expressions had made his father's entire week. Reassured, Rintaro took a leap of faith and asked for his father's guidance. Keiichiro accepted instantly, posing a single crucial question. What message does he wish to convey with this cake? Rintaro paused, searching his heart before finding the absolute truth. He wanted to thank Kaoruko for everything she had brought into his life, and above all, he wanted to make her smile. Satisfied with his answer, Keiichiro agreed to kick off an intensive culinary crash course, aiming for perfection by the 22nd. The grueling training pushed Rintaro to his physical limits. By the time he dragged himself back to school, he was utterly exhausted, yet his friends were thrilled to hear about his dedicated new endeavor. Meanwhile, Kaoruko's classmates were bombarding her with plans to celebrate her birthday together. Seeing the situation unfold, Subaru stepped in with a clever excuse, maneuvering the group to shift their plans so Kaoruko's exact birthday remained completely open. When Kaoruko returned home, her phone buzzed. It was a text from Rintaro asking to meet on the 22nd. Blushing and completely caught off guard, she had no idea he even knew her birthday. She sat frozen, unsure of how to reply. She immediately dialed Subaru, knowing her friend's hand was behind this precise miracle. Kaoruko beamed after Subaru confessed. Ending the call, she hugged her phone tightly to her chest, her mind instantly racing through her wardrobe to pick the perfect outfit. On the morning of the 22nd, the bakery kitchen was filled with the warm, sweet aroma of fresh sponge cake. Rintaro put the finishing touches on his creation, his hands trembling slightly as his father took a test bite. A moment of tense silence passed before Keiichiro smiled and nodded in approval. Breathing a sigh of relief, Rintaro carefully boxed the cake and rushed to get ready. As he walked to the meeting spot, he started questioning if that really was a good idea. But with the box in his hands, there was no turning back now. When they met, Kaoruko's face lit up the second she saw the ribbon-tied box. Eager to open it, she led him to a quiet playground nearby, a place filled with cherished childhood memories of playing with Subaru. Today, she wanted to share that special place with Rintaro. Sitting on a bench, Kaoruko unboxed the cake, gasping at how adorable it looked. But when Rintaro bashfully confessed that he had baked it himself to thank her for everything she had done for him, her eyes welled with pure joy. They shared a wonderful afternoon together, and as they parted ways, Kaoruko promised to call him that night after she had properly tasted it at home. Back at the house, Kyoko couldn't help but notice Rintaro pacing nervously. The moment his phone buzzed, he dashed up the stairs to his room to answer. Kaoruko's voice came through the receiver, soft and full of joy. She told him the cake was exquisite, a gentle, heartwarming treat that made her feel deeply cared for. It was precisely the feeling Rintaro had hoped to deliver. Relief hit him so heavily, his knees gave out, and he collapsed onto the floor, listening as Kaoruko spoke with a smile evident in every word. After hanging up, Rintaro went downstairs to share her reaction with his father, sparking a wave of quiet pride throughout the household. Driven by his success, Rintaro made one more request. He wanted to work at his father's bakery over the summer break. His mother lovingly insisted he still make time to enjoy his youth, so they compromised. He would help out whenever he didn't have plans. After all, Rintaro had already set his next goal. He wanted to make an even better cake the next time around. Summer vacation was in full swing when Rintaro and his friends finally arrived at the beach. Before their feet even touched the sand, Kaoruko and Shohei were already debating lunch options. Ayato and Subaru stepped in to help them pick out sandwiches, while Rintaro and Saku ventured off in search of cold drinks. On the way, Saku offhandedly mentioned craving one of Rintaro's homemade cakes, his gaze casually drifting toward a nearby donut shop. Noticing his interest, Rintaro and the other guys nudged him to buy some. Knowing his weakness for sweet treats, Saku stubbornly declined, pointing out that they had already bought plenty of food. Kaoruko remembered that Subaru also adored donuts, but Subaru's quiet bashfulness kept her from speaking up. Ultimately, the group left the bakery behind, focusing instead on grabbing drinks and a stash of evening fireworks. As they walked away, Subaru lingered behind, looking crestfallen as she scolded herself for staying silent again. She cast one last longing look at the pastry display, mentally admiring how delicious the donuts looked. The subtle moment went unnoticed by almost everyone, except Saku, who quietly registered her lingering gaze. Once on the shore, the group excitedly splashed into the ocean. Subaru hesitated at the water's edge, watching them from afar. A quiet wave of insecurity washed over her. She couldn't help but wonder if her guarded presence was dampening the mood, or if she truly belonged in their inner circle at all. Kaoruko called out to invite her in, but Subaru was too lost in her thoughts to hear. Spotting the genuine distress etched across her friend's face, Kaoruko took note. Meanwhile, Shohei scarfed down his sandwich in record time so he could dive right back into the surf, with the other boys quickly joining him. Kaoruko seized the quiet window to approach Subaru on the sand. Surprised that her inner turmoil had been noticed, Subaru finally let her guard down and poured her heart out. Seeing her friend's need to connect, Kaoruko called the rest of the group over to give Subaru the floor. Standing before them, Subaru gathered her courage and addressed the boys by name. She admitted how excited she had been for the trip, but confessed that a lingering discomfort around men, stemming from her childhood, often made social settings difficult. Shohei immediately apologized, feeling guilty for not realizing her hesitation and dragging her along. But Subaru quickly shook her head. She clarified that while male company usually made her uneasy, the boys had been remarkably kind to her, gradually dismantling the walls she had built up over the years. Still, her instincts kept her at a distance, making her feel like an outsider who didn't fit into their group. But speaking with Kaoruko made her realize she didn't want to hide anymore. She wanted to be honest, laugh freely, and truly be their friend. Without a word, Saku lightly splashed a handful of water at her. He casually remarked that he wouldn't waste his time studying or hanging out with someone he didn't already consider a friend. One by one, the other boys chimed in, warmly reassuring Subaru that she was already an essential part of their circle. Overcome with relief, Subaru stepped into the water to join them, promptly losing her footing and tumbling into the water. Completely soaked, she didn't care in the slightest. The overwhelming joy was more than worth it. To mark the turning point, the group decided it was time to set up the evening fireworks. While they sorted through the colorful display, Subaru sat back to dry her wet clothes. Out of nowhere, Saku tossed a bag of fresh donuts into her lap, having noticed earlier that she had barely touched her lunch. As night fell, they lit the fireworks, filling the seaside air with laughter, light, and sparklers. When the stash ran dry, Shohei playfully threw a fit, insisting they needed more. Subaru, in her own shy way, quickly chimed in to agree. Seizing the opportunity, Saku and Ayato headed off with the rest to grab more fireworks and another round of drinks. Rintaro and Kaoruko stayed behind to watch over their belongings. Kaoruko lit a small sparkler, mesmerized by the delicate bursts of light. As they sat in the quiet glow, Kaoruko softly thanked Rintaro for openly validating Subaru as a friend earlier. She explained how Subaru used to be completely closed off due to her past, but thanks to Rintaro's warmth and influence, she had truly begun to open up. Rintaro shook his head, reflecting the sentiment right back at Kaoruko. He insisted that any positive change in him was entirely because of her, making her the one who deserved the gratitude. As the conversation grew deeper, Rintaro felt his heart racing. In a sudden burst of raw sincerity, his true feelings slipped out. He admitted that he didn't want the day to end because spending time together had been so wonderful. To his heart-pounding surprise, Kaoruko offered a radiant smile, reassuring him that they would share plenty more moments throughout the summer. Flustered and unable to hold it in any longer, Rintaro finally confessed what had been growing in his chest, clearly and undeniably letting her know that he liked her. the air instantly charged with profound embarrassment. Stunned and completely blushing, the two stared down, utterly incapable of making eye contact, let alone uttering another word. Before the silence could settle, Shohei burst back into the scene, blissfully oblivious to the heavy atmosphere as he urged them to light the fresh batch of fireworks. While the rest of the group quickly sensed that something major had just transpired between the two, they thoughtfully chose to play it cool and act as if nothing was amiss. When Rintaro finally arrived back home that night, the weight of his sudden confession hit him all over again, leaving him a blushing mess. Yet, amidst the lingering embarrassment, a firm resolve took hold. Knowing he couldn't leave things hanging in awkward uncertainty, he pulled out his phone and dialed Kaoruko's number to set things right. Rintaro stood in the quiet hum of the summer evening, his hands slightly trembling as anticipation tightened in his chest. When Kaoruko finally approached, smoothing the folds of her yukata after a last-minute glance at her reflection, the world seemed to slow around them. Only hours earlier, following their group's departure, a surge of anxious regret had forced Rintaro to call her. Worried his abrupt confession might have burdened her, he had apologized and requested a quiet moment to talk things through. Kaoruko had accepted without hesitation, making a single request of her own, that they meet at the summer festival. Standing together under the warm glow of the festival lanterns, an unspoken tension lingered. Sensing Rintaro's nervous restraint, Kaoruko offered a soft, playful question about whether he was hungry, instantly breaking the ice. The heavy atmosphere gave way to shared laughter as they wandered through the vibrant stalls, sampling local snacks and playing carnival games. Eventually, the noise of the crowd faded into the background as they found a quiet bench away from the festivities. Sitting side by side, Rintaro gathered the courage he had been searching for all evening. He admits that he initially believed he would be content simply seeing her happy. However, as time passed, the lingering fear that their shared moments were fleeting began to weigh heavily on him, causing his feelings to spill out unexpectedly. Wishing to find genuine courage and joy by remaining at her side, he asks her to go out with him. He harshly dismisses his own desires as selfish, but Kaoruko immediately stops him. To his surprise, Kaoruko reveals that their history began long before he realizes. She recounts a freezing winter day the previous year when she happened to pass by his family's bakery. Burdened by personal struggles and in no mood to eat, she was drawn in solely by the warmth radiating from the shop. When she tried a slice of cake, the overwhelming comfort of the taste brought her to tears. Rintaro, who was working that day, offered her gentle solace. She describes herself as being saved by his kindness, and her heart ached because of her happiness. And when she learnt he would have shown that same compassion to anyone, only made her admire him more. In a place completely disconnected from their respective schools, he had given her hope. That cold winter afternoon was the precise moment she began falling for him. Driven by a desire to see him again, Kaoruko took meticulous care with her appearance on subsequent visits to the bakery. Time after time, however, Rintaro was either away or hidden in the kitchen, leading her to believe that their paths would never truly cross again. Then came a rainy day. Dressed casually and expecting nothing, she visited the shop once more. As she finished her cake, her eyes unexpectedly met Rintaro's. Flustered, self-conscious about her appearance, and embarrassed under his gaze, she choked on her food and fled. Yet, unwilling to let things end there, she returned the very next day. Their true connection unfolded shortly after at school. Opening the curtains on a bright morning, she was stunned to see Rintaro standing on the opposite side of the campus grounds. Realizing he was far closer to her than she had ever imagined, her feelings deepened into profound affection. Standing up beneath the backdrop of the illuminated night sky, Kaoruko reintroduces herself to him, stripping away the boundaries of their different schools and backgrounds. With unwavering clarity, she tells him that she loves him too. Rintaro rises to meet her, looking back on everything they have experienced together. In that moment, he realizes that the vibrant, wider world he now inhabits exists entirely because she walked into his life. For the next episode, check the link in the description. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.